all you need to know, the Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Hey guys, good morning. I am Agam Vakil and this is your daily morning update on Bloomberg Quint. Today is the 6th of March. It's also Friday. Yay! But it seems that we may have to brace for some more volatility before we move into the weekend. And let me tell you why. Let's start with the US markets. In the trend of one step forward, one step backward, major US equity indices closed lower on Thursday. The S&P 500 and Dow Jones gave up 3.4% and 3.6% respectively, and the Nasdaq closed 3% lower. The fall was largely attributed to the nervousness around coronavirus and investors being unable to gauge the full impact of the outbreak on the world economy. The sell-off in global stocks resumed in Asia on Friday, as well as optimism about fiscal packages around the world to address the blow from coronavirus evaporated. Japanese equities are currently down 2% and Australian shares are also on the retreat by as much as 1.6%. Investor confidence remains in tatters as virus cases continue to rise across the world despite efforts to contain the outbreak. And now this brings us to our markets, and things are not looking so good. The SGX Nifty is down 3%, and there's more to the decline than just the global weakness. One of India's larger private banks has a problem. The government of India has placed Yes Bank under moratorium and capped withdrawals for a month, while the Reserve Bank of India superseded the board of the private lender, citing a steady decline in its financial position. It's the first instance of a large private bank being put under such a moratorium by the government. The bank is not allowed to pay any depositor more than 50,000 rupees without written permission from the Reserve Bank of India during the period of moratorium, and in certain emergencies, the RBI may permit a Yes Bank depositor to withdraw more than that sum but not exceeding 5 lakh rupees. The bank has been prohibited from making any loans, investments, payments, or transfer any properties, said another RBI statement, except for payment of bills towards received employees' salaries, rent, taxes, etc. Now, in another important development for Yes Bank, the board of directors of the government-owned State Bank of India has given an in-principle approval to explore investment opportunity in Yes Bank, according to a statement filed with the stock exchanges. The statement is in response to a Bloomberg report on Thursday morning that the government had approved a plan for SBI to lead a consortium that will buy a stake to rescue the capital-starved Yes Bank. Now, needless to say that the ongoing developments with Yes Bank may very well induce volatility in not only the banking sector but Indian markets as a whole. But for more on Indian equities, let's get in our markets editor Neeraj Shah for stocks that are going to make headlines today, of course, other than Yes Bank. Neeraj, good morning.
Thanks a lot for that, Agam. Well, you've spoken about Yes Bank, but arguably that remains that key stock, and Yes Bank related stocks remain the key stocks to monitor. Brokerage's view on State Bank of India too is very divergent, with some people believing that Macquarie, for instance, saying that it could see a sharp reaction today along with Yes Bank, whereas Kotak Institutional Equities has come out and said that this is probably not as bad as the case could have been, and their target price stays higher than the current market price quite substantially. So do watch out for Yes and State Bank of India, needless to say. But I would reckon that the markets would be a bit wary of what happens to some of the other financials and NBFCs, even if it's sentiment and not pure fundamentals. And therefore, the dealing rooms are suggesting that do watch out for all of those tier 2 NBFCs and tier 2 banks and the reactions that we may see into those, the likes of RBL Bank, some of the NBFCs like Piramal Enterprises, Edelweiss and the likes. So that is a set of stocks that I would watch out for. Dr. Reddy's Laboratories has received 3 Form 483 observations for API manufacturing plant at Telangana by US FDA. And amongst other pharma names, Lupin has launched the authorized generic version of Vimovo tablets used for treatment of arthritis and ulcers. Though none of the positive news flow in stocks like Lupin or a Lemon Tree, which has signed a license agreement for a 62-room hotel in Agra, would likely help the stocks in the session today. Kotak Securities has upgraded Eicher Motors to an add from a sell, and Morgan Stanley's maintained their overt rating on Interglobe Aviation with the target price of 2,057. But with the Dow Jones Index having done what it has done and we having our own issues with the announcement around Yes Bank, it's very unlikely that some of the positive news flow will see some reaction in the session on open. The question is, will some action from the Reserve Bank of India or the government help improve the sentiment a little bit, and can we see some value buying in select names at lower levels? I think time will tell.
Thanks so much for that, Neeraj. And with that, this is me, Agam Vakil, signing out. Have a great day.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.